It has a lot of, it has the requisite number of planes, I would say, for you to be interested in this deck. What is it? Is 11 double-digit planes?
Yeah. I should like this. And I really am starting to. I've also been a big Aether Vial fan in my life, too.
All right, so I tend to shy away from fair things, but one thing that I do like about Death and Taxes, and this is what I think is like the hidden unfair part of the deck is, and this is something that Goblins did too, the interaction of being able to play Rishadan Port, Wasteland, and Aether Vial in your deck is really not a fair thing to be doing in Legacy. Aether Vial is making you so much mana that you don't have to cast your spells with mana anymore. You can cast all your spells with Aether Vial and use your lands to just disrupt your opponent, and that's really powerful.
A quick mulligan there from Michael. Yeah, I mean, it is kind of, a deck building thing. Engine's not the right word, but it is a combination that you can put together. Goblins has done it. We have seen Merfolk do it as well. The Vial plus Port plus Wasteland Engine. Now, of course, Merfolk didn't really play Port because they had manlands they wanted to play in Mutavault, but we have seen decks do this before, basically using Vial to make the spells free, and then you disrupt the mana. So we see Death and Taxes, and Death and Taxes is actually the best at doing it because Thalia also makes spells cost more. So. Right.
It keeps on the plan, you know. It can use Revoker to stop fetch land. No, it can't use Revoker to stop land, but you're right. Thalia works there too.
Yeah, Revoker can stop, mana accelerants, for example.
Yeah, you have other ways with removal and such to just tax your opponent's mana over and over.
Again, both players taking a mulligan down to 6 here, so Derczo will take a look at his hand first. We'll see if he's able to cobble together anything here. Deck mulligan's okay, but it doesn't get to undo mulligans like Delver decks do because of Ponder and Brainstorm. So we'll see if he can find a 6 that he's happy with.
6 on 6 here. I mean, one of the things that I like about Death and Taxes on the mulligan is that thanks to Aether Vial, he actually can keep one-landers in a lot of situations that otherwise would not look reasonable.
It's a deep sigh and it's a keep. Oh, this looks to be a Mother of Runes.
Yep.
So that's in there.
Yeah. Turn 1, Mother of Runes. It was off a Caracas. That, to me, suggests that Derczo is on a land-light hand. Usually you want to lead out on those basics to protect yourself from Wasteland.
Now, one thing we have been informed by our table spotter and the judge around the area is that Fujimura has 2 game rules violations, and if he gets one more, it's an automatic game loss. So that adds a different element to this match.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
For those of you who are not aware of what a GRV is in a tournament, that does not mean that a player is cheating per se, but more simply that over the course of a game, if say you miss your own triggers in a way that could be construed, that could be advantageous, but it's just doing it because you aren't noticing it. Maybe you forget to flip off Dark Confidant, something like that. The judge just warns you and they give you a game rule violation. But if you do that repeatedly over the course of a tournament, then the upgrade past that eventually leads to a game loss.
Here's a Gataxian Probe with the alternate mana casting cost. So Fujimura will pay 2 life. You see a hand there of Caracas of Plains, a Sword of Fire and Ice, and a Sword of Plowshares. But for Fujimura, there's not a land there. Wasteland was pretty good.
Both players, their hands have some real awkwardness to it. Derczo, since he lost his Mother Runes, has no other creature, and he has a second copy of his legendary land, whereas Fujimura just has no lands.
Oh, sometimes you just got to peel a creature with dice, that's all.
That is the ideal draw there. I was going to say, not just a creature, but a Stoneforge Mystic.
But it's not going to resolve due to Force of Will, removing a blue card. The free counterspell showing its power, so away goes Stoneforge Mystic. Let's see if Fujimura can draw land for the turn. The answer is yes.
But it's a wasteland. And if he goes for the waste here, he's actually just fortunately, see, Derczo had this problem that his third land was another Caracas.
Yeah, but, oddly enough, Fujimura knows that Derczo has another Caracas, so how good is that wasteland in that situation? Hard to say. There's the Jite, so that's coming in.
As soon as Derczo draws a creature, boy, does he have a lot of things to put on it.
Yeah, life is good. He's got plenty of equipment.
His remaining cards are Swords to Plowshares and Sword of Fire and Ice.
Fujimura does not draw a land. Derczo will draw a card. Does he find a creature? This is a really strange game.
As soon as one player starts playing Magic, things are sure going to turn around.
They sure are. Well, it's actually Fujimura. He drew another spell. It's a Stoneforge Mystic. He just has to pass the turn back.
I mean, I'm going to say something for Ty here, is that there aren't many games where you can sit with 0 lands in play for 5 turns and not be dead yet.
Yeah, be somewhat competitive.
Yeah, you know, he's got some Force of Wills, got some kill spells. Well, he only needs 1 land to get things rolling.
Caracas. Yep. We're getting spicy.
Caracas 3.
We're getting spicy now. Well, hey, there's a creature.
Uh-oh.
That's actually a really good one because Fujimura has a lot of fetch lands in his deck. And he draws a copy of Daze.
That's another good one with 0 lands.
Yep.
And this might be this is close to a nail in a coffin here. Getting counters on Jite is something that Blue-White Red Delver has a real hard time dealing with. Even if he draws land to kill the Mind Sensor, it's going to be some pain here.
Yeah. It's time to suit it up. And it's time for the 1-2 punch. In comes the Mind Sensor. 2 charge counters on the Jite. And, you know, this isn't lights out because Swords of Plowshares exist. But again, the Mind Sensor will make it so that Fujimura draws a fetch land, and that's a Stoneforge Mystic.
There was a time at which Taylor could survive with having no lands. You know, he's saying, hey, I can brick my land drop for a turn or 2, but it was never a turn or 5, and that's what's happened.
Mm-hmm.
And Derczo getting to play Magic is going to make short work here.
Yeah, he's going to pump once and twice. It'll be an attack there for 6. Fujimura's going to go down to 8. 2 charge counters on that bad boy. See if he wants to follow by maybe playing the Sword of Fire and Ice.
Yeah. This can be a frustrating experience to play against because especially Derczo's draw was so weak here. When you're on the Delver side of it, it's frustrating to lose to.
Yeah.
But
it's not over yet. If he draws exactly Tundra, well, he had to draw it that turn. He could Source of Plowshares that, but it's not there, and that is going to do it. Michael Derczo's going to win this match over Tai Fujimura 2-1. Even though the second game was a marathon affair, the third one was anything but. Death and Taxes moving on to play against Ross Merriam playing Combo L's, and that does it for our quarterfinals.
Turns out the next card was finding the land. It was a Flooded Strand, so maybe if one of the next 4 is a fetchable land.